All right. So I wanted to respond to this Tariq Tariq video where he responds to Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks. Now, yes, I'm a dusty ninja that's creating a video, making a video off of this. This is pretty big news. I'm not you could call me a dusty ninja YouTuber or whatever, but this is pretty big news. You got the FBA over here, you got the ADOS over there. So I feel like sometimes we do get caught up in this. I'm ADOS, I'm FBA. Look, first and foremost, what the hell is on code? What is not on code? All right. That's what we need to establish, because everybody's kind of just throwing around, this is on code, this is off code. Okay. What code are we talking about? Are we talking about the Neely Fuller code book? Because if we're talking about the Neely Fuller code book, I would say that Tariq is pretty much off code, because two victims of white supremacy, as a victim of white supremacy, you're never supposed to get into an argument with another victim of white supremacy. It's a thing that's called VGQ. You could just type in Neely Fuller VGQ, and it's basically one of his rules in the code book is that you never really get into an argument with another victim of white supremacy. That's the code book. But Tariq Nasheed was saying a lot of real shit. I just got to call it like how I see it. He was saying a lot of real shit in that video. He was saying a lot of real shit. He never really answered Tone Talks' original question about, hey man, I'm not really quite understanding why you're trying to do this FBA thing. You know, I'm trying to get some kind of clarification. And Yvette Carnell, a little bit, she's been kind of taking digs at Tariq Nasheed. She has. I've been looking at her timeline. And the thing about Yvette Carnell is she'll take a shot, she'll throw a rock, and then she'll hide her hand. She does that a lot. She was doing that a lot with with everybody that Breaking Brown kind of gets into, meaning Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, Tone Talks. He said something in this video that was true. He's like, these people are known for getting into it with everybody. That's their reputation. And I think that Tariq was right, because a lot of times, they've kind of had a reputation for just kind of calling out everybody, getting into it with any and everybody. And I've seen Tone Talks kind of call out Tariq Nasheed throughout the years. And Tariq Nasheed's kind of been holding it in. But at this point, it's just a lot of tension that needs to be released. So this is what that video was about. But I mean, Tariq was saying a lot of real shit. But did he go overboard? Yeah, he did. But that's to be expected, because I think that Tariq is becoming too like, his ego is getting too big. So where he's feeling like, hey, look, don't even question me. Don't even question me. You questioning me, that's disrespectful. That's off code. So that's the thing. It's like, what is on code? What is off code? If we're going by Neely Fuller's code book, what Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell are doing, that's just VGQ. And let's just get into what Tariq was talking about. So Tariq was saying that there's been a lot of tension from them. And it's true. The underlying tension was that Yvette Carnell has done some disrespectful, raggedy, bad, horrible shit as far as morals and, doing just bad stuff. I'm talking about she has a history of doing suspect things. Now, mind you, Tariq considers himself a disciple of Frances Cress Welsing, who isn't really Nellie Fuller Jr., but a lot of her work is kind of inspired by Nellie Fuller, but she's more of the, you know, her ISIS papers book is more like a description of why white supremacists do what they do. And I say like Nellie Fuller's book is more of a how do we kind of survive under the system of white supremacy. So Frances Cress Welsing, when she passed away, Yvette Carnell had made a video disrespecting Dr. Frances Cress Welsing after she died. So I know that Tariq was deeply hurt by that, but he kind of held it in. He didn't really go in on Yvette Carnell, but that was some disrespectful shit. Also, Yvette Carnell has made a video about Claude Anderson, which I felt was like, it was just out of nowhere. She just started ripping Dr. Claude Anderson as far as like him going bankrupt, and she was exposing all his paperwork that he was bankrupt, and she kind of just went in on him for no reason. He's an elderly person. He's an elderly man. He's not a guy that has a big YouTube or anything like that. He's just a guy that goes out and occasionally speaks to black people about, black economics. So when people kind of saw that, a lot of like conscious people automatically were kind of looking at Yvette Carnell like, man, she's kind of funny. Mind you, she has said funny things or weirdo things about Farrakhan. She said funny things, weirdo things about Colin Kaepernick, TONETALKS too. So you could kind of like research this stuff as I'm bringing it up. So the ADOS so-called co-creators, they have a funny background. They got a funny style. That's what a lot of Pan-Africans kind of use. They're like, look, the whole ADOS FBA thing is funny style because none of these guys really add up. Most of these guys have a funny style. Look at TONETALKS. Look at Yvette Carnell. These two, they got a funny style background. Like they kind of just came out of nowhere, and they're just kind of like against everything and anything. And these people might be working for the feds. They're talking about universal basic income. They're talking about all of this kind of weird bullshit, like this democratic left type stuff. And Tariq, he's coming from like he's more of a pickup artist who kind of got into, he saw a lane with the RBG community and people having like people, victims of white supremacy in America kind of needing a history to be told to them in the correct way that the educational system won't teach them. So he came with these DVDs and it took off. So he's kind of seen as a DVD peddler who is hustling people to buy his DVDs, and he's just going to keep coming out with more and more DVDs. So they kind of look at Tariq like, man, this dude just jumps from trend to trend. And it's true, he was doing dating. He was doing the pickup artist thing. He kind of got into the RBG thing. He was promoting Pan-Africanism for a second. And he saw that shit was kind of crumbling. Then he went to Haiti and he was making Haiti DVDs. And then now he's recently kind of embraced this Native Black American. I would say this was more inspired by Dr. Claude Anderson. His book called, what is it right here? I got it right here. I think it's the Black History Reader. Yes, the Black History Reader, This is the Black History Reader or the Black American History Reader. It's a book that he came out with where he was kind of like breaking down how blacks need to embrace their history in America, like the lineage in America. After that, that's when he's kind of really gotten on this thing where like Native Black Americans. So I would say within the past couple years, within the past 2 to 3 years, he's been really embracing this Black American patriotism. So a lot of people have been looking at him funny, but we got to break down what he said in the video. He was saying that there's been tension because of the things I mentioned just now, but he held it in because he felt that with his newfound kind of, Black American patriotism, it was in line with the ADOS movement that was being pushed. But he's saying that basically Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks are really overexcited about this damn, about every time they get a little bit of attention from the the white mainstream media, they're a little way too overexcited. And they're way a little bit too eager to kind of say that, hey, I'm the leader of this group. I'm the leader of ADOS. He's like, dude, you don't see that as a trap? You don't see how that's a setup? You don't know if the CIA or the FBI is kind of taking notes and you're sitting up here jumping out talking about you're the leader or you're the co-creator or something. He said, if you always look at me, I never ever say that I'm the leader of FBA or I'm the co-creator of anything. I'm always saying that, hey, I'm just like everybody else. I'm not saying that I'm a group. He said ADOS is talking about, oh, we're a lineage and we're a group. He said, so when they kind of do that, they're mixing everything up. So how are you telling me who I can vote for or what I can't vote for if we're a lineage? That's not making any fucking sense. And he said, and that's true. That's true. Because if you notice in my last video, I'm like, I kind of agree with Tone Talks. I gave the video a thumbs up. But the thing is, he's a little bit on this, oh, we need to vote Democrat because the Democrats owe us. Now, I feel like the Democrats don't owe us shit. I really don't. I feel like they use us for votes. And we got to keep our minds open to where we're just being realistic that none of these politicians, unless they have a black agenda, it's pretty much just them blowing smoke up our ass. So that's what Tariq was saying. And Tariq was saying that, look, he was bringing that up. He said they have this thing where at their ADOS event where they're kind of like, oh, well, you have to kind of vote down or some kind of ballot vote down where you just vote for a Democratic candidate, but you put ADOS or some weirdo shit. And he's like, dude, what is that? I'm not telling you that you had to vote Democrat or vote Republican. You can vote forever you want to vote for. He's saying, so that's why he had the Foundational Black American Conference, because we're a lineage and we're going to just basically just talk about a bunch of stuff that's not really politically, like, it's not a political event. In other words, it's just going to be a bunch of speaking and we're going to talk about politics, but it's not per se a political event. And, he was, a lot of stuff he was saying was true. I felt like he was petty when he was like, oh, I could easily roast you. That was kind of below the belt. He was saying that Tone Talks has no charisma. He has no charisma because he hides behind his numbers so much that he's kind of like a nerd. He has no way to speak to natural people who come from the streets and they don't know all them numbers and all of that stuff, all of that data stuff. He says that data, he kind of says something, then he hides behind these numbers. He can't break things down in a way that's very simple for people to understand. So that, he said that he said that Tone Talks is kind of having the Umar sniff, which means, he's letting the media and these internet trolls gas him to believe that he's qualified to be on the same level as him. And it was really like a lot of ego stuff, and it was a lot of shots that he was taking. But another thing that he said that was real, he says, okay, you're talking about me putting out, this is how I know the outrage is really fake about me putting out a pro-Trump tweet, a so-called pro-Trump tweet, is that you're telling me, oh, we got to be against Trump, and you out here promoting Trump, but at the same time, Byron Allen is in bed, meaning he does business with Sinclair Broadcasting Group, which is a group that's known to be very chummy and buddy with Donald Trump. And he gets a lot of donations from the Sinclair Broadcasting Group. He says, so what is this whole 1866? Who are we supporting? Are we supporting Byron Allen and his business, the entertainment group? If they're in bed with Sinclair Broadcasting, what the hell are we supporting? Which is a solid argument, very, very solid argument. And if you look on the timeline, Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell, they haven't come with a good response to that. Also, Tariq Nasheed says, I'm the reason why ADOS got popping. And that really struck a nerve with Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks. But they said, oh, no, he didn't. But I'm going to tell you, as much as you may like or dislike Tariq Nasheed, you got to call it like it's the truth. He did. It was a lot of people who kind of was very iffy on Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks because of the reasons that I stated earlier. They were doing a lot of funny style stuff. They have a history of doing a lot of funny style things. And it was Tariq Nasheed who was like, no, I like what they're doing. I love what they're doing with the whole ADOS movement. I love what they're doing. And he even like last week was like, yeah, I would invite them to come speak and promote their event so people could go to their event. But, obviously that's not happening anymore. But it was just more of a thing that Tariq was so accepting of them. His crowd kind of hopped on and said, look, ADOS/FBA, it's all good. Like, I'm supporting both of them because it's all good. Everybody's on code. So everybody's supporting each other. So basically, I think that Tariq was hitting a lot of points that was just true. Unfortunately, he kind of got the ADOS thing popping. And the reason I say it's true is because Ebro quote tweets some black feminist who was kind of like, I don't like Tariq. Look at Tariq. He's promoting Trump and he just went buck dancing and he's supporting Trump and blah, 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 blah. And Ebro was like, yeah, you see this, Tone Talks? How you going to explain this? And that kind of triggered Tone Talks like, wait, hold up. We can't be seen by the by the dominant society as like supporting Trump in any way or form. We're ADOS. And that's why he came with that video that I responded to earlier. It was like, oh, we're not we're a lineage, but at the same time, we have a political agenda. Go to ADOS101.com and we don't support Trump and blah, 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 blah. This is what the whole thing is about. I've been doing this for like 12 years and Sandy Darity, the work and the data and blah, 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 blah. So the reason he was triggered is because Ebro was conflating the whole ADOS with the FBA and Tariq Nasheed. And I felt that it was very important that Tone Talks did that, as long as he was saying that, look, hey, what he's doing and what we're doing, that's separate. That's not the same thing. Where Tariq took offense was him saying, I don't understand what the FBA conference is. I don't understand what, I feel like you're doing some kind of black, what he's saying, striverism, that type of stuff. I think that's what triggered Tariq Nasheed, because he was trying to make him seem as if he was another Jay Morrison or another Boyce Watkins, but he was saying it in a polite way. And I think Tariq was saying that, look, let's just take off the gloves and stop all of these mini jabs and let's stop all this polite, cordial, light banter. Let's just get it out and let's just say what we got to say so we can just kind of move forward, and you do your thing, I do my thing. It doesn't have to be a beef. I don't really like you. And he says it. He says it in the video. He's like, I don't like you personally. I don't like Yvette personally. Y'all have no charisma. Y'all have no swag. Y'all always getting into arguments with people. I'm just calling it like I see it. So he went all the way in on them. He did. Was it warranted? No. But he was saying a lot of truth inside of his video. He was just saying what he felt. I felt like, yeah, Tariq was off cold, but at the same time, he was saying a lot of truth and he was saying a lot of real shit. You know, was it warranted? Did he have to go in like that? Probably not. But I think Tone Talks in them was trying to we're expecting to have like this intelligent conversation where they can go, where he can make a comment and he could go forward, and Tariq's going to make a comment and they can kind of like politely go back and forth and have a discussion. Because nothing that Tone Talks really said in this video were ad hominem attacks on Tariq Nasheed, except that black striverism comment. That could have been taken as a disrespect, but him asking, hey man, why are you doing this FBA conference? He could have just said, to distinguish myself from ADOS, because I feel that you guys are mixing up ADOS with political things like political left, and it's not really adding up when you guys say lineage and group. So I just created this because of this. But you know, he kind of was getting all of his stuff that he was holding in out there in the open. And I guess you could say it was wrong, but at the same time, it's better that he kind of put these things out here instead of later on you kind of like, damn, what's all of this about? But I think the main thing is that we need to be focused at, that 1866 Civil Rights Act. That is a big deal. That is a big deal, that we need to be kind of focused on that and knowing like that shit could really take us back hundreds of years. So I totally, my eyes are on what the hell's going to happen with that. But at the same time, I'm on code and I'm observing how everybody's moving. I'm not on really anybody's side. I'm just kind of observing and just, hey, look, I'm a victim of white supremacy. I do consider myself ADOS, or you could say DACS if you want to be that specific. But I'm tongue twisted. I'm tired. I'm about to take my ass to sleep, and I'm out, man. Peace.